Hi everybody, welcome to TiltTrek. We are extremely excited to be here this morning at Pinball Expo because we get to be introduced to the brand new game from Jersey Jack. It's Elton John. This game, the finish on here is just amazing, and I don't know if we can catch it, but there's actually like diamond flake, which just so fits the theme so well running throughout this whole game. And this whole game just sparkles just the way Elton John sparkles. You talk about capturing the theme. When you get onto this play field, you've got, of course, the rail lights, but look at that in the middle of the play field where you have the lights through the Elton John like he would have on his glasses. You've got this piano. I've never seen anything like that where you get that digital display coming on up across the face of the piano. I mean, it's cool. We've got our sculpts in the form of the Crocodile Rock. We've got the Rocket Man. We've got Elton John in his, what park was he in when he did that? But I know he was on the East Coast doing his giant concert tour. This thing is just amazing. The side art blades look very good. The ramps are rolling all over the place, which just has that flair that you would expect from Elton John. And then on top of it all, even the powder coat has that diamond flake. It just sparkles. The whole game sparkles. And if we come up onto this side here, you can once again see that the artwork on the side is just fabulous. And if you were looking for the game that screams Elton John, this game screams Elton John. Oh, and then we got to show them the topper. Let's do the topper. Nice 2D plastic. I don't know if it interacts with the game, but it is absolutely, it's a sparkle masterpiece. Really, Elton John. Hi, Glenn Hoffman.
Hi, Mark Molitor. Nice
Mark.
to
Now, Mark, we are here to play Elton John, but from what I understand, you're a big player on what made Elton John what Elton John is right now.
Oh yeah.
So what do you do?
I do art and animations and design for the game.
The art and animations.
Yes.
There's some great art and animations on this game. You've even got animation happening on a piano in there.
Oh yeah. I was in charge of getting all the piano animations and getting them on the screen and making them. It was a lot of fun, and it was like, it sort of calls back to the old DMD days. And like, I used to work with Scott Slomiani, and he's one of the original guys. He did Addams Family and Indiana Jones and all those. And so it was great to like sort of pay homage to him and go be able to like make something that looks like a DMD. It was a lot of fun.
So had you worked with DMDs before?
I had not. No, not at all. I'd only ever worked with like nice high-res stuff. The DMD or the piano screen is only 10 by 57. It's such a low resolution, so trying to get anything to show up on there is it's a bit of a fight to make it show up. And
so how does that compare to, normally you're working on the original people who brought the original big screen to the back glass,
oh, yeah.
and now they've got you being the original guy working on the tiniest screen of the oldest style.
Exactly.
So how did that learning curve go for you?
It was pretty good. It was a little bit of a back and forth, and there's not as much of a color range on the little LED lights, so it's a little bit of a learning process, but it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. It was nice to bring that old feel back, and I think there's a lot of magic there and people like it a lot.
That's cool. Now, what are you most proud of on that little screen? Like if you were going to have somebody you were going to say, I did this, but you've got to see this. What's the one thing we should be watching for on the piano screen?
I love the whole package. I love all the stuff that shows up in the attract mode when you're not even playing the game.
Okay.
There's all these little animations that we made specifically for Elton of just like just gives all the flavor of the game. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool.
Like, what kind of animation? What are we going to see? I have not played it yet,
Okay, you haven't played
I'm catching up to you.
Right now, when you're playing, each player, if you're doing like a multiplayer game, each player gets a random thing to sort of show when you're up. So you can always see, oh, I'm the falling stars, or I'm the moving piano notes. So each player has a signature look that they get randomly assigned at the beginning of each game. So you can always sort of tell when it's your turn.
That's brilliant.
Is really fun.
I'll be honest with you, I'm very excited to play. So we're going to get a chance here to play a game, and we'll play a game, and let's have a little bit more of a conversation about what we got going on.
That sounds great.
Super, Mark.
Awesome. Thank you.
We are here at Expo, and we're going to get a chance to play this great game. When we're playing, we already met Mark, and we know we're going to play with Mark, but we're also going to be playing with
Olaf.
Olaf?
Yeah.
And Olaf, what is your involvement?
I was lead animator on the game and creator of the UI and several animations that made the game so visually all the things on the screen. You know, that's basically it.
So everything on that big screen.
Yeah.
Because he did all the stuff on the little screen.
Yeah, absolutely. And Buddy also stepped in and helped out
some stuff on
some
the
of the
big
elements
screen,
on the bigger screen.
He's in charge of all the 3D and the UI and
So it's just not because of the fact that even though you're a tall guy, but you didn't go by height where you went, okay, Olaf's the tallest guy, he gets to do the big screen, and you're a little bit shorter, which is probably what? You're still 6 foot. Okay, I'm like going, and I'm sitting here in a hole.
Olaf Gremie, and I am actually from the Netherlands, and I've been introduced by Jean-Paul de Win, and he's creating for every Juicy Jack animations. He did that before, all the previous games, but this game he asked me to do it.
So why do you think he asked you to help out on this game?
Nah, he was working on The Godfather.
On The Godfather, okay.
And he was finishing that, and on the same time they were producing this, developing this machine, the Elton John theme. And so he asked me, well, hey Olaf, can you help me out, and can you work on this game? And I have worked on, helped him on Wonka. I've animated the Oompa Loompas.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that was my first introduction into creating animations for the pinball, Juicy Jack pinball machines. And now we're finally here after 1 year. So last year I was here at the Expo, which is fantastic.
So how does a guy named Jersey Jack, who lives in or has a factory in Chicago, meet a guy named Olaf in the Netherlands? That seems like a big jump.
Well, the fun fact is that Jean-Paul de Win, he is in pinball for a long time,
right?
And he had a internship at Williams back in the days.
Okay.
And he still keep contact with people over there. And later on, he turned working for Juicy Jack. So, and he still lives in the Netherlands. And I collaborated with him in the past with other things, commercial stuff. We worked in television together, made animations over there. But he works now for a long time for Juicy Jack. And you know, at that point we are now here in time, and he requested me, so that's the connection.
That makes way more sense. Otherwise, I'm like going.
So it started all back in the days. Internship, Williams, and then
it just keeps going. So we went from Chicago to Jersey, back to Chicago, to the Netherlands, and now we're back here in Chicago, which is awesome. And that's as cool as this game's story, because Elton John is an international star, so it makes sense that we would have international working on all the games. So you were in charge of the retro animations, and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, exactly.
So
But it's-
on there, what do you think is something where if you were going to have someone showing up to see the game,
Yeah.
what is the one thing that you look at and go, I sure hope they see this, it's fabulous.
what is fantastic is there are toys in the game. We've got the crocodile, there's a rocket, and we created an animation when you unlock the multi-ball and you hit the multi-ball, then this rocket will be on screen, launched, and you see it launch with a lot of smoke and fire, and it comes at you. And if you are that good and you also are unlocking the crocodile at the same time, it will be combined. So there will be a crocodile sitting on top of a rocket, flying towards you, and yeah, that's hopefully people will see.
So if we have a static sculpt on the play field, we're going to see an
animated version
that goes
of that
big screen.
on a big screen. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's one of the cool things. And we also created a lot of he's of course famous about his glasses, right? But he also has fantastic shoes, fantastic outfits, and we recreated that. In the Netherlands, I have a colleague of mine. He's called Lars Scholte. It's also nice to name him. And he helped with the outfits, modeling and modeling stuff, and that's also in the game too. So you are able to collect shoes, glasses. Yeah, this is one of the glasses.
So he just collected
one. I hope it's visible. But you can now. He's up next will be the shoes, and you have one inside a song. You are able to collect those 3 items, and then there are 15 songs in this game. So there are 15 different glasses, 15 different shoes, 15 different outfits, and it's all
Holy
possible.
cow, that's very cool.
So there's a lot in the game.
And then as we're spelling out, I see the keyboard on the top that spells out Elton John.
Elton John, if he managed to get all the letters on the playing field, we will unlock the stage environment, and then you have a signature stage part of the game where you can, for example, go to his early days. You see, for example, also the Dodger Stadium. It's also in there, and Vegas is there, and his end tour is also there. So there are four signature stages that they can be unlocked, and that unlocks a multi-ball. So you see Elton playing, tiny Elton playing in the UI as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, I see on the standard edition that you have static plastic.
Yeah.
But I noticed on the collector's edition.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could.
Maybe it's good to have an image of that as well.
But there's animations on the collector's edition.
Yeah.
The topper is much more animated. And I know it has like a laser light show.
There's a live show. There's also live concert footage in the topper. There's a lot going on.
So now that we made it over to the collector's edition, that gives a chance to see a little bit more of the animation and so on. Were you involved in this at all also, or is it because that's a small screen, we've already established that Mark is smaller than you, and Mark has to do the small stuff?
The small stuff is Mark was mainly focusing on the piano. The topper, Jean called it, because he finished at that point. He finished with Godfather, so he helped me. He helped on Elton John at that point. So he created and selected the shots for the topper. So
that's awesome.
I could only focus. I had only to focus on the main screen.
Well, the amount of animation. I mean, it just seems to me that back in the early days, it would have been one guy working on dot matrix, and now the idea that you guys have introduced small dot matrix on the keyboard.
Yeah.
You've introduced giant animation that interacts on with the scopes on
exactly.
the main playing field, and then we have a topper that takes another animator with laser light show.
It's packed with a lot of stuff.
This industry is really changing and changing in a great way.
But for me, it's also overwhelming to see because how I work is I just create this one part. So, for example, I'm focusing on creating this rocket part and animate all those elements, and then polish that, make it nice, and then Bill, the programmer, is Bill. He adds it in the game.
He's talking all about Bill. You're not on mic, but we at least are going to catch a picture of Bill.
But now to see everything together, it's overwhelming, you know. It's to me also very special, very special.
Right, because that's a solid point. This idea that you would be going from a guy who's basically working on this part here.
Small parts.
So when was the first time you saw all of your little parts all put together into the big part?
Yeah, well, we have a system that you can test it. So, but then you only see it on the computer. Okay. But now in the machine, it works.
So is this the first time you saw it all together?
All together in the machine. Yeah. Well, I have seen many times things, but then it's filmed.
Right.
It's not, you know.
No, it's the first time then that you've been in the same room with it.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much.
I cannot tell you how tickled to death I am to be able to meet you. This is an amazing story. It's just great. Thank you for everything that you do.
Welcome.
And thanks for joining us on TiltTrek.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Great choice.
Thanks.
Please visit our sponsor, Comet Pinball. Comet Pinball has what you need to make your dim machines look better than new. They have the largest selection of bulbs from the exotic to the mundane, and even their exclusive matrix lighting system, which makes it easy to boldly add lighting where no lighting has gone before. Visit cometpinball.com.
Let's go on a road trip with the sun in our face. We have a full tank of gas. We can go any place, north, south, east, west. It doesn't really matter. Let's leave this town. We can drive forever. It doesn't get any better than this. Yeah, let's go on a road trip. It doesn't get any better than this. Yeah. Let's go on a road trip.